hello everybody. Welcome to It All Goes Back to Sonic. It is I, your host, MegaFire, and I am joined by my beautiful boys, Dorko for you, Bob Hood, and Harvek. And today we read Sonic issue 103 through 108. It was sounds like it was a loaded amount, but actually not really. But anyway, we'll get into it.
I was able to do it all one day.
Yeah, I don't know. This wasn't the best one that we've had.
Yeah.
If not necessarily because of poor quality, just more like there was really not a lot going on.
I disagree. It's because it's poor quality.
Oh yeah, I think it was. I mean, a little bit of A and B, but yeah. Oops. Sonic collected a ring on the... I forgot to mute my phone.
Sonic, quiet! We're recording here.
Alright. Well, let's just jump into it.
Number 103. It's one of those. Alternate universe Sonic is tricked by Robotnik into jumping into a ship that launches him into deep space. Why might contact you from the coordinates of the abandoned space station. He is found by space aliens who send him back to his home planet. And then Sonic wakes up 1,000 years later. He meets a descendant of Tails named Talon and learns that Robotnik started World War III and left the planet barely habitable because everything is now mechanized. And then they fight several echidna robots. Just when they seem to be too much, the Guardians of the Galaxy show up and save them. Which is just it's just the Freedom Fighters alternate universe featuring the Birdman. They explained to Sonic that their ancestors were those being the original Freedom Fighters of this universe. They were some of the last survivors of the planet who found spare spaceships laying around with which they each left the planet to sustain their species somewhere else. Many years later, the Freedom Fighters of the galaxy are formed to deal with an army of evil sharks, and then suddenly Silver Snivelly appears. And then our backstory... what do we call these back pages?
The B plot, I guess, the B story.
B-plot. So, do you remember the Down Under Freedom Fighters that I think showed up like in an end game or whatever? Me neither. They're doing tryouts for new members, and then suddenly we get their backstory where they meet up and find a bunch of people captive in a desert, let them free, and they beat up Crockbot. And then we are brought to the present where they find out the creature called the Bunyip is up to no good. To be continued.
So I guess something to note is like, yeah, this is a Guardians of the Galaxy parody, yippee. But the artist,
yes, it is.
the artist Jim Valentino apparently was the creator of the '90s version of Guardians of the Galaxy, so it's kind of a self-parody in a way. So that's something.
So every one of these Sonic characters are directly a version of the original Guardians.
Okay, I'm
you
glad
guys-
that you.
I'm not sure.
Glad that you made that reference.
Wait, hold on. Let me do. The wording I read was specifically the '90s version of the Guardians. I don't know when the Guardians of the Galaxy were originally created.
1969.
Okay, well there you go.
Oh, I didn't know
This
they were
team
that
is
old.
mostly the original squad, I believe, but probably the 90s stuff. I don't know much about the original Guardians. I got the Wikipedia page open right now, just for reference. Because that's a very reliable source, don't you know?
Well, I'm glad you did, because my question to you was going to be like, what are these?
Well, the one you guys might know out of all of them is Antoine. He's Yondu.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was
that's-
when after you some. Okay, I didn't even know they were Guardians of the Galaxy. I was about to ask like, what comic is this a reference to? Like all of this. But now that like the moment Dorko said like, is this a reference to Guardians of the Galaxy? I think that was the only one that in my mind I was like, oh, that's the guy with the boomerang that he whistles around with.
Yeah, that's an arrow. In the original
Okay,
comic,
sure.
Yondu had a bow and arrow. They made it into like the tech arrow in the movies, which is kind of cooler. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so all. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this
agree.
does result in Antoine wearing a crazy outfit.
That's Yondu. That's what he wore. So let me go over some of the characters. So I believe Sonic is inspired by the character Vance Astro, aka Major Victory, who's a direct descendant of Captain America and uses his shield or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Captain Rotor is a reference to a character called Captain Charlie 27.
Oh, right, because he's Rotor 27.
Yeah. Bunny is a reference to a character called Nikki. Nikki. There you go.
Okay.
What the heck was Sally? Hold on.
She's like, she controls light?
So Salatena is referencing Alatega Ogord, a.k.a. Starhawk.
Damn, I don't know any of these people.
And good God, Hawk. Why? Is a reference. I see. Is a reference to Stagatar Orgud or something like that, a.k.a. Starhawk. There's 2 Starhawks. I have no idea what Tails is. What was his name again?
Oh, Talion or something like that?
Talon.
Talon, yeah.
I don't know if there's any character. He might just be like Tails and Alien. I'm sure there's a reference. I'm not getting it.
Oh, wait, that makes sense. I didn't even catch that. Oh my god, I'm a buffoon. I didn't even. Yeah, that Tails Alien, Talion. Okay, that.
I'm doxing myself as not a real comic book fan, guys. I don't know the original Guardians. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you this time.
I don't know the Guardians from 1969. Star-Lord wasn't even part of them yet. No Gamora, no Drax, no Rocket Raccoon, no Groot.
Yeah,
None of them were there.
Okay, listen. I don't know anybody but Xandu. I was like, I don't know any. You're saying all these things. I cannot confirm or deny. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, you're probably right. I'm like, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy, sure, why not? I don't know.
Well,
they're not my Guardians. Hashtag not my Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know them.
Well, thanks to Wikipedia, I have the costumes here. They're wearing the costumes as well.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that they did. I mean, the fact that Dorko, that layer, I did not realize that it was the actual like the main writer of the '90s comics was doing this. That's pretty cool. But
Except
it
Rotor,
also
who's just
felt like
naked.
Huh?
Except Rotor, who's just naked.
Yeah, Rotor's is really weird because when I was younger, I always thought it was like, oh, Rotor just cloned himself 27 times. That was legitimately my thought process. I was like, that's really kind of morbid, actually. I'm glad that it's a little bit better, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, if you know the MCU movies, Hawk's character, God, I hate calling him that.
Okay.
Based on Starhawk, that's Stallone's character in the later Guardians movies.
Oh.
So he looks nothing like the original character.
Alright, that makes sense, yeah.
But they are basically in their comic outfits, so that's kind of...
That is pretty cool.
Side note, I cannot look up Starhawk on Google because it just gives me the rebel ship from the new Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah, that is the ship there. I did have a fun little moment here when I was reading this panel with the Knuckles robots, where Tails is like, it's just a small gang of them. There's thousands of renegade robots. There's thousands of Knuckleses out there. And I'm like, dang, it's like he's just like us for real, just calling them all Knuckles. Because they were called like the Knuckles bots or something, I don't know. The Knuckles gang or something, I don't remember. It doesn't matter, but it was funny.
It's the Dark Legion.
Look at the Knuckles.
Ooh.
Also, why did he do this? Why did he have to write this? Mike Gallagher? Why?
So, even though I did feel like getting some Michael Gallagher stories was sort of a breath of fresh air, but then, I actually take in said air and I'm like, this is foul.
I was digging the. I mean, I dig this story. Like, I think it's just fun. It's stupid fun, and I have a good time with it. But that weird Civil War bunny Southerner thing is like, why do we have to do this again?
Taking this breath of fresh air. Oh no, he farted.
Yeah, making Snivy the Silver Surfer was a choice.
It was a good choice.
I think that's probably my favorite part, just because it cracks me up.
Look at
Like the thing that says "bad boy."
Look at that peak design.
I just think that's just pretty funny.
No, this
It's
isn't
kind of
actually
weird
good.
to me because now I'm seeing him trying to oogle over Sue Storm, and I don't like it.
Oh,
That's Invisible Woman.
yeah, I only know her as Susan. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton to say other than, like, I knew this was based on something, like a Marvel thing, but because Silver Surfer, obviously. But I was completely lost every time I've read this. I've never looked it up. I've never bothered to because I was just like, oh, it's a fun Michael Gallagher story. I don't really care. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just superhero schlock. And I was like, I don't know. Like, that's what I enjoy. But I do have one thing I want to point out. At the end of this one, we get a really special fan letter, which I think I've been keeping my eye out for these. I may have missed and forgive me, please. I'm not looking anything up on this because I was trying to organically identify this letter from one Ian Pato. Ian Pato.
You'll never guess who that is.
You'll never guess who that is, but I think it's worth, if you boys are willing to, if you find Ian Pato's letters, because there should be multiple, take a read. Just look through them. Just take a gander. Just his. No, you don't have to look at anybody else's mail-ins. I think it's worth looking at his letters and the responses that are given to him sometimes. But just mainly his letters are an interesting thing. I want to keep it a secret if you still haven't pieced together what this is or why this is important. And I'll try my best to bring it up when it is relevant.
So I had a joke to say, and then you brought this up.
Oh,
I'll
my
still
bad.
say the joke anyways.
Yeah,
Dorko, edit everything MegaFire said out after based.
You should do that.
No.
And then edit it back in here.
Shut up. I'm not doing this work.
But
All I knew is that it was based.
All I know is that it was based. You gonna put in like 5 seconds of silence? Yeah, that's all I had. I mean, I don't have much to say about either 103 or 104, really. They're pretty much fillers. They're just fun stories. I think Harvek pretty much summed it up with, I mean, my main question was like, can you talk about these next 2 issues, Harvek? And that was it.
Real quick for the Down Under stuff. Obviously, there's the
I
Dare
forgot about
Dingo. Yeah. And that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, yeah. You know, honestly, I would just say read the read the Down Under stuff because the art's kind of nice, and like the second one, I like the design of the main enemy thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Disney
Baby.
things.
I will say
Say hello to
about
my cat.
Ian Pato is that, like, sometimes I struggle with having things to say about some of these stories and issues. So I guess this applies to anybody who can like write so much about these stories. I'm like, damn, good job.
Yeah,
and this is more about like a later issue, but like then I realized like, oh, he's actually pretty into the Knuckles side. Like, oh no, before I said like, I don't know if anybody likes these Green Knuckles stories, and I'm like, oh wait, I think I found
me
a fan.
him. We were both into it. I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. It's good plot. It's bad writing, but it's good plot. Fun. I felt empowered after I read this. I also, let me say, I've been doing research these last few weeks. I haven't brought it up because I want to in a future thing. talk about a couple things, but we got to get to that point.
Okay.
But I just want to say, I have felt validated in the last couple weeks on the feelings that I've had. I no longer hold the same viewpoints that I did but I am reading Ian Pato's stuff and watching some other people talk about this, including like talking to Ian Pato like in present day, where you hear the thing that like he still really appreciates the stories, that the world building that was created. I think I couldn't articulate this before, but I think that Ken Penders does a pretty good job at world building. If all he had to do was sit behind a desk and write an encyclopedia of world building, maybe not focusing on his echidnas 100% of the time, it might be better than what we get. And I'm not saying that it stays that way, but there's definitely dips in a lot of the things. But I think that there's some really interesting stuff when you read these letters that I'm like, I get you because I was there. I was there when I started this podcast. I was me. But like now I'm pulling back. I'm being reeled in by my friends like a fish.
I mean, I'll still disagree on the being good at world building part, but I can sort of see the appeal in there.
Okay, maybe good is a strong word, but I think that there was some world building in there that really... Again, the reason I didn't want to bring this up is a lot of it applies to later stuff where I'm like, it's good that it's being circulated.
Yeah, maybe we should move back to get it back on track.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get back to Galactus Robotnik.
Yeah, why don't you give us the breakdown on Galactus Robotnik, Bob?
All right. 104. Snively beats up our heroes, but Sonic comes out on top. Hawk senses trouble and leaves on his own to investigate. The Freedom Fighters track him on his airship. It's really dumb, I know. The gang finds out Robolactus has appeared and threatens to eat the planet using a giant juicer. Robolactus is too strong. Sonic and not Rotor try to get to safety after the latter gets hit by Dr. Robotnik, but Snively blocks the way. And then later, I don't know if they had a conversation between then and now, but Snively shows up to Robolactus and tells him, hey, this solar system sucks. None of the planets have any nutrients, so we're going to eat the shark planet instead. And then the day is saved. And then our next Down Under episode, the gang tracks down the Bunyip, which is like this big Loch Ness monster dinosaur. They fail to beat it up, and then he takes everybody away except the bird named Guru Emu. And then as he runs across the lake to try to find his friends, he discovers a dam. To be continued.
I like the Bunyip. The Bunyip design's good. Thick ass boy.
The dino.
I'm sorry that I laughed every time. I never heard the name said out loud. And when you say it quickly enough, it sounds like a lactating Robotnik, and I'm like, like some kind of Robotnik milk, and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like that these pictures are flashing in my head. The Akira pose. No! All I can think of is that every time you said it.
Real quick, I gotta point out the cover. Those are some of the most kissable lips I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good cover. I mean, he's really puckering up for us. It is a good cover though. That I really like the way that he's drawn in this. I mean, it's Spaziante.
Hedgehog, I've been waiting for this. All right, another thing I gotta pull up. That starship that the Freedom Fighters get on.
Yes.
They tried to be cheeky about it. It's not technically a Star Trek ship. It's a bunch mashed together. I think that centerpiece is the Defiant. I might be wrong on that. But the engines are absolutely the hulls of the Enterprise. If you look carefully, you'll see that stripe on the side there. There's just straight up a Federation insignia still on there.
Well, thankfully, I can't fact check you. Because
it's on page 6. If you look very carefully, you'll see it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. You know what? Now that you've said it, I have been playing Star Trek Online with Harvek, and it does kind of look like one of those ships.
Let me see if I can show you.
Saucer.
No, it doesn't have the saucer, but that side is straight up a design from Star Trek.
Yeah.
I have a really bad image here I could put up, but you can see it on the side of the lower hull. That's just straight up a Star Trek design.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yep. It's like 1-to-1.
Man, I love learning about this kind of stuff. This is what this is the new interesting stuff that I just skim past every time I'm reading, so I don't know.
Look, I saw Starship. I went, ooh, must talk.
And of course, Don Best is the artist on this one, and I'm a fan of Don Best art. I can't lie. Even some of the wonkier pieces here and there, I'm still an enjoy. Very nostalgic to me. It's one of those early core memories of the Sonic comics that I maybe have ingrained in my head of like, yes, I recognize the era of the art that I like, the Don Best times. It was the Don Best of times. It was the Ken Worst of times.
I just remember some trivia about the cover. Is that like, you know how like Sonic Mega Collection had like a gallery where you could see like all the Sonic comic covers. This one they blurred Robolactus just like, you know, just in case. Don't want Marvel to get angry at them.
Yeah, what else could it be? Who knows?
Oh, you mean they blurred it in the collection? They blurred
it.
Like or hit
going
the
through
whole
the covers
the whole
and
guy.
looking at them in the game. When you get to this one, the cover was blurred.
That's really funny. That's really, wait, they blurred the whole cover. Why they include it? That's funny.
Oh well, to be more specific, they specifically blurred Robotnik Galactus himself. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, they just took the whole cover and they just wiped it up. I like Robolactus's I like how he's drawn here. I don't know. It's just very his eyes have like that galactic like sheen on them, like a swirl. It is cool. Vespasiante, always the goat.
Also, I'm sure everyone's forgotten, but this is technically the second time they've done like Robotnik as Galactus, which is a little amusing.
Oh, I did forget.
I think I remember.
It keeps happening, man. It just keeps happening. It's too good of an idea to pass up, don't you know?
Listen, that Tails on the cover with the long black hair, you think this is what awakened a lot of the Tails Doom stuff? Because I'm looking at that and I'm like... No, you don't see it?
Oh,
Badass Tails or whatever. I'm like, that hair is looking familiar to me.
Look, you said Tails Doom. I assumed you meant like Doctor Doom.
No, that's really funny. Actually,
I would assume the inspiration might be an artist that shows up later in the session.
Yeah, we love him. Okay, go on. I'm done with this one.
Okay.
I was just gonna admit that one pun that made me laugh was the "We freedom fighters are lactose intolerant."
Yeah, see, I knew I got the reason why that made me laugh every time.
But Tish.
It's a good joke.
Sometimes puns can hit you, I guess.
All right, 105. What?
Sorry, I just love that we're completely skipping the other story, but I mean, yeah, let's just move on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, that's right.
Do we care?
No.
All right.
I already forgot it. I didn't take any notes on it. What was the other story? I forgot.
It was more of
The Bunyip kidnaps the Down Under Freedom Fighters. That's kind of it.
Oh, yeah.
There's not much to discuss.
Hey, so dear listeners, if you like the Down Under Freedom Fighters, why don't you go pick up a legal issue of issue 105 or 104 and find out what happens to your favorite boys and girls.
Write in if you want us to talk more about the Down Under fighters.
Write in if you want me to create a intricate web of personality, history, and demographic details on the Down Under Freedom Fighters. I'll do it.
Send us a letter if you want us to review the original Guardians of the Galaxy comic.
Send us a letter!
105. Eggman announces that the whole city is set to die because of toxic air. Eggman reveals to Robotnik's family that because he's made up of metal and circuitry, he's not affected by this. The brother, what's his name again?
Colin.
Colin. Colin, full of rage over this and the fact that his own son Snively had a hand in this, he takes a punch at Eggman only to get turned into a robot statue.
Hate when that happens.
The child named Hope runs away. Sonic is ordered by King Acorn to escort Sally to Nate in order to unroboticize him, because only Sally can do it. Hope is cornered by SWATbot. Sonic saves her. Sonic immediately makes his way to Eggman. He's very fast. He cannot hurt Eggman because of his superpowers, but instead he uses speed to cut a hole in the floor beneath him. Snively then kicks Sonic down the hole with him, and down there, Sonic finds Nate, who has in fact been roboticized along with the rest of the Kintober family. Sally uses the sword only to find out that her magic does not work on humans and they're stuck like that. Cool. Eggman uses his power on Snively to turn him into a robot that is not petrified and statue-like. And Eggman offers this status to anybody willing to surrender to him as an easy way out. Hope chooses to instead leave with Sonic and the others to retain her free will. And Bird's story. Bird enters the abandoned dam hoping to find a way to save his friends. He looks at a map inside Crockbot's old computer room and I guess sees something on the map that gives him an idea that his friends got away somewhere. Meanwhile, his friends are alive and well. Barb is multilingual and was able to talk the dinosaur to calm him down, convince him to calm down. She asks about his story, in which Crockbot's water pollution ruined his way of life, so he proceeded to exact his revenge by bullying everybody around him. Guru meets up with the gang, and they decide to set off some leftover bombs in another room to destroy the dam, and Bunyip gets his water back, and all is well. The end.
This Snively bean pose is so good.
Bean.
This panel is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Snively just looks so weird.
Snively looks so funny.
He has cartoon eyes, and everybody else is drawn like that.
I'm here.
There's like one moment where like Hope rapidly ages up for just a second, and then goes back to being a child. Whereas here it is, I found it. Why does she look like this? Why does she look like this in one panel? A single panel. Ron Lim, please. I was just praising how like your people drawings are a little bit better than I can't.
You know what? I just thought about what that Snively reminds me of. Have you ever seen that video where the guy just runs out from the background and is like, "Oh, Mom made pancakes"?
No, I don't think I have.
I'll have to show you that after the podcast then.
I think that panel might have been miscolored, where those are supposed to be teeth, but they were colored like lips.
She's got gums. She's become old. In that one panel, you have to read it as "Just robotic animals that were sighted. I think Uncle Dewey created them."
The toxic poisoning's taking effect.
My teeth are falling out, Dad. Oh man. I feel so bad because I don't want to dunk on Ron Lim every time, but like, what is going on here?
It's kind of rough because I remember you specifically mentioning like, oh yeah, they mentioned like Ron Lim getting coached to like draw better Sonics for a more consistent art style. I'm like, that's not happening.
No, it's not. But
he's getting worse.
He's getting worse. He's really good at drawing Robotnik, though. I don't know. I really like a lot of his Robotnik poses. I think they're great.
He does like an Eggman. He just needs to draw Sonic without these rectangle eyes.
The Sonic looks like that one meme image of Kirby coming out of Sonic's eyes.
I think that's the origin of that. It's Ron Lim's drawings.
Like Sonic's eyes are becoming sentient, I think.
It's crazy because like I don't know, like you just gotta look at anybody else drawing Sonic and just copy that or something. Like his people drawings are better. His robots look good. His backgrounds are nice, but like he's just not good at the animals. He gives them limbs that are super super thin and weird. Like the proportions are just so not good.
Sonic looks like he's about to break, standing on any of his limbs.
If you... I don't know, man. I really like this Eggman pose, though. Like,
well, what I'm really getting at is this guy should really do Transformers art.
You're not wrong. I mean, even his roboticized like people look pretty cool. I think they got a very '90s vibe to them. Kind of remind me of like that one Cyber Chase, but
by the way, nice Dark Sonic there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I when I was younger and I read through this, I feel like I remember this being sadder. I'm still sad that they got like Nate has basically been written out of the story like this, but I feel like I remember a scene that was more impactful, but I guess not. I misremembered.
I'm not really sure because I'm reading these for the first time, but I did read something that it sounded like there's not really a conclusion. Like he just doesn't come back. Maybe
no, he's just written out. Yeah, I mean most of these Overlanders are this plot line kind of ends in the implied. I guess spoilers. Sorry, but it kind of ends with the implied like notion that these guys are dead. Like it's done. This is death. Like this is the like they basically were like, okay, the humans are dead without us writing dead on there. Like we can't use that or we can't do that. So here's the way that we're gonna do it. But yeah, Nate. I mean, this even in the last like set of comics that we read, where Nate like stays behind, he says, "I know" or whatever. Like that had more impact for me than just him just running into his roboticized form. But I guess maybe that's kind of like I'm melding the two in my mind, and I'm like, oh, this is so sad.
I mean, I feel like maybe this wasn't even supposed to be like a conclusion. You know, like it was supposed to be like a plot thread to go back to, and then I guess that didn't happen.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to do some digging. I'm not sure on that one. I always thought that it was just sort of implied that this was Bowlers' way of just killing people off, i.e. a lot of like just humans like that nobody cared about, like Hope's family, to give Hope that the story arc that she gets later on.
I mean, you know, sometimes with just like how this comic goes, like they can just write anything.
Yeah,
like, snap your fingers,
emerald.
like, oh, we can free them because XYZ. So
Yeah.
you never know. Like, I guess an example of that was just Robotnik dropping like, if you want to be roboticized, you keep your free will. You know, Snively's okay.
Yeah. Robo Snively looks funny. He just looks funny all time. This is the note that I had for Robo Snively. I'm like, oh, this guy reminds me of a Badnik design.
There were some weird, funny Robo Snively panels, but I don't know if they show up till later. Regardless, I never screencast stuff, so if anybody has anything, feel free to show later when we get there. Oops.
Oops-a-daisy.
Yeah, and then Down Under happens. Again, I like the art. It kind of gives me like Donald Duck comic vibes, the art style. I like the big bunyip guy.
Yeah, I like the art style in this one.
Yeah, I think I misspoke when I said earlier I liked the art style. I was actually thinking of this issue, not the last one. It's Nelson Ryburo, yeah. And I feel like I've spoken before about like enjoying his art.
I actually thought the later two Down Under stories here, they're like okay. Like I'm gonna forget. I've already forgotten them, but they were kind of pleasant to read through.
Yeah, they're fine. They're just filler. I don't know. Like that's the best way for me to put it. It's like enjoyable filler. You're probably gonna forget it, but like, yeah, unimpeding. It's not something you remember that you know. Yeah. So if we have nothing else, I guess we can move on to 106. Jarvis, give me a synopsis of 106.
Yes, sir. I forget what Jarvis sounds like. The freedom fighters go to Station Square. They meet with the president to discuss letting about 70 families from Mobotropolis take a move home in Station Square. But that's a lot, so the president and his officials don't immediately comply. Sally offers to, if they accept the refugees, give them all tactical information on Dr. Eggman, who had been causing trouble for Station Square several times already. The president needs to sleep on it before he makes a decision. The next day, a dragon attacks Station Square.
This place is accident prone.
Great A to B plot transition. Sonic can't quite take him on alone, but he's later able to negotiate with the president, saying he'll deal with the dragon if the president is willing to take the refugees, and the president accepts. So here's our Knuckles tax. A new Echidna character teleports in an Echidna at night. Some Dimitri guys are on a job to check for signs of life at night. And they report to the big man that they find nothing. In his computer room, his granddaughter Leanda asks about his diabetes and reports that Knuckles has left the battle cruiser and has spent the last few hours on the floating island. We see Knuckles trying to use his powers to reverse the effect of the quantum beam. His magic presumably causes a brief windstorm in Echidnapolis, sending our new Echidna toppled off her feet. She is met by Remington, who she believes to have killed Knuckles. And to be continued.
I do like that you... who checks on his diabetes. Oh, man.
Grandpa, did you check your feet today?
I still feel nothing. I am a part robot.
I'm just immediately going to post this, because I just thought this was really funny. These fucking lines. Do you see, Princess Sally? If we were to take in your refugees, they'd have to live in a city under siege by dragons.
Actually, Sally, do you know we're under siege by dragons?
The dragon thing is so out of left field. It's funny.
Oh,
the story writer is like, it'd be cool if Sonic fought a dragon.
Somebody else did the cover for this one, right? It wasn't Pat. I don't think.
Oh, I don't look at who draws the covers.
There's something really funny about this TV announcer. I had a similar energy with, like, as you posted with the trans, like, it's like, haha, yes, Sonic, way past cool, indeed. Like, the thing is all, like, supposed to be shouting or, like, enthusiastic, but his face tells a different story. He does not care. He does not want to be here.
He just wants to read the teleprompter.
I don't know if that text is supposed to convey shouting or that the fact that it's coming from a TV. But
oh, well, exclamation marks.
True.
That's right. Oh, it is a different person that did the... Wait. Oh, actually, I can't tell whose signature that is on the cover. It doesn't look like Pat's, though, but maybe it is. I was going to say, it's probably one of the first covers in a while that I'm like, I don't care for it. I'm glad it's kind of different looking, but I don't know how I feel about it. Harv, is this the X-Men plane?
I don't think so, but it definitely looks like it.
It looks like, I think it is. I mean, I've been watching X-Men so much. I feel like it's the Thunderbird question mark. Is that the name of it?
It's legally distinct, but it's a reference to it, I think.
Yeah.
So often we're playing this game of like, what ship did they steal this time?
It's good. I like this game.
Oh my god, I missed this part.
You missed this? Okay, I just
the
posted,
real ass clouds.
I just posted the data file for Station Square, which is basically a little map and a breakdown of where the moving parts are of like how Station Square works basically in the world. And I don't know. First off, it's funny because they use real clouds in the background render, but everything else is drawn. And second, I don't know. I like maps like these. Ever since I was a kid, anytime I'd read anything, if they had like a map of like, here's where the adventure's taking place, here's all the things, I always like, I'm a real freak for this kind of stuff. You know how there's like map freaks out there, like they're real map nerds? I'm that, but for fiction. I love little fictional maps like these.
The underground sky is really funny.
So the big thing in the B plot here, the B story, is it finally begins. The thing that I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this a long while ago, that a lot of Penders' writings were leading up to a Sonic Super Special that never happened called Sonic 25 Years Later. Well, this is the beginning inklings of it, where he's trying to sprinkle it into the main story, I guess. They're the B-plot Knuckles story. So this is the beginning of the things that he was trying to culminate towards for a Super Special. Again, I think Dom Best just becomes kind of a regular Knuckles artist, if I remember correctly. So it's just going to be her art for a while on these. Is this the one where it asks you to draw Knuckles' family tree? Oh no, that's probably the next one.
I think that might have actually been the previous issue.
Oh, that was the previous issue? Well, I have something for you guys then. Well, first off, I wanted to post this screenshot because I just think it's really funny seeing, like, somebody just dropped the, oh my god, it's the kid who killed Knuckles! I don't know, it just got a chuckle out of me. And then also remember to pre-order your $9.99 VHSs of Sonic the Hedgehog. That'll be at video stores everywhere February 2002. I did this from memory. 100% from memory.
Oh boy.
I didn't get everyone, which is a good or a bad thing. I don't know how you look at it.
The who cares section.
Yeah. Okay. So really though, who cares? Why would they even put that there? Like anybody's gonna look and see who the fuck Edmund and Dimitri's parents. I don't even know if they even reveal it. I genuinely don't think they ever touch on it. I don't care. And that's me talking about this. I'm more impressed that I remembered some of the women because they aren't really prominent parts of these stories, except for like Julie, Sue, and Leonda. Leonda's the commissar. Some of these people you might not, they may not have been introduced yet. I don't know. I just kind of went off. Lara Sue is the one we just saw. So spoilers, I guess.
I was tempted to ask if, like, do we just say her name, or do we have to wait for Ken Penders to slowly, like, to take his time before being like, oh, this is what her name is, by the way.
If you don't know who Lara Sue is, there's no way. There ain't no way.
I'm staring at the name Lara Sue, and there's some, like, deep trauma that is trying to claw its way up, but I'm desperately, like, not remembering what the fuck that is.
Let's keep it that way, and then I'll be surprised. And then I made another version of this, in which I think it's your guys' digestible version. I call it
Knuckles Baby.
So we start with Knuckles Baby. Then there's Pink Knuckles, Knuckles, Mama Knuckles, Monitor Man, Darth Vader, who's married to Mama Knuckles now.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight is up there. I think his name was Moonwatcher, and that's how I remembered his name is by naming him Moon Knight. And then my friend Jenna, because I have a friend whose name is Jenna, and that's how I remember that one of the Knuckleses were Jenna. Jenna something. I think I remembered some. I forgot some of the like hyphenations. Saber is Saber. I don't know. It's easy to. His name is easy to remember. The Kidnapper, which is Knuckles'
Remington gun.
Remington gun. Yeah, I remember because there's a gun that's the Remington. I don't know why I remember one of those. There's this Crystal Star Fox, Ocean Man because Nemo, Knuckles with the Mohawk, Knuckles number 5, who's married to Scarlet Witch. There's Batman, Knuckles with Special Eyes, his wife. I don't know why. I just remember Knuckles' special wife. Let Grandpa rest because they took him off. There's two of these characters I remember just because of I obsessively went through the Wikia pages when I was younger. There's BDSM Fetish, which is Commissar, and then Knuckles, but evil again, who's the guy who takes over Knuckles with Special Eyes. Cool name Knuckles, and then there's the Proud Boy, who is the son of Cyber Knuckles, and then the Wikia page told me who his wife was when I was younger. And then Knuckles Prime, who's the Edmund. Yeah, that's it.
I have one problem with this.
Yes.
You spelled Crystal's name wrong.
Like, are you legit? Like, did I...
Yeah, it's
Kratal. Yeah, okay.
No, it's a K, yeah.
Oh, I spelled both of them wrong. I made a typo on the actual chart as well. It just says Krytala instead of Crystal. Oh well. Anyway, I just wanted to flex my power, and it's not a flex. It's like, you know when you flex and the muscle goes the other direction? That's what this is.
Where's Obama on here?
He's in the who cares category. He spawned all
okay.
of those echidnas, yeah.
Okay.
Just ready. Sure. I was ready for you. That's all I got. Unit 107.
I think that's all I got too.
Nobody's gonna praise me.
I don't know what to say about this.
I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort.
Thanks.
Anywho, 107.
Yeah.
So, do you guys remember Paladin Team Sigma Alpha 2?
Yeah.
We joked about like one of the guys looking like a fucking protagonist. Okay, so they're back. They team up with Sonic, Tails, and Bunny to take out the dragon. So after they disembark, two of the Paladins go missing. They go their separate ways from the Freedom Fighters to go find their guys while Team Sonic goes after the dragon. Tails points at a waterfall as he finds that behind it is the dragon's lair. Like, obviously, you can see it in plain sight. No, you can't. I don't know how you saw it. Anyway, they meet the friend Dulcie in that cave and find out that she is mates with the red dragon named Zan. So Dulcie explains that the Overlanders fired the first shots as they want Pyro Island for military purposes. But before they can all talk it out, Paladin finds the waterfall lair and throws a net onto Zan to force his mouth closed, not that it does much. They want to shoot both dragons, and that's bad. So Sonic disarms the squad. Again. Sonic asks Zan to keep cool before he cooks everybody. Dulcie intervenes, and then it turns out that Zan is not a very good boyfriend, and Sonic responds appropriately. As the two fight, the humans set up some bombs, and the rest of the cast talks on what just happened outside the cave. The bombs go off, collapsing the cave. Sonic is buried under rubble, but he's fine. Not Zan. He fucking died, I guess. The president gets the news, and so he agrees to let in the refugee overlanders. And then Knuckles. Knuckles has freed the echidnas that were sealed with the quantum beam, and then everybody who was hit by it wakes up after. The Chaotix are black, blah, 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 and that new character is related to Knuckles in some way. The end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a core memory panel for me. Another one. It's this one. You can't scream to early 2000s like you can this pose and this outfit. Everything about this is just, it's dripping. Yeah, I think my first note in this was like, hell yeah, Jack is back. And then the second one was, is it me or is Bunny extra southern today? And then the third note that I have is, yo, we get a Dulcie story. Oh shit, it's about domestic abuse? Why is his name Zan? That's so edgy. Did
Bunny always have weird hair?
Sometimes.
Weird hair? Yeah, she's got a new hairstyle. She's had it for a little while now.
I think it might have came with the school stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I don't know why I noticed it just now, though.
My other note was, remember the Chaotix? That was it.
They're back.
Yeah, the southern...
You're gonna carry that weight.
How does it fucking feel to be telepathically communicated to by your family?
Yeah, how does it feel?
And then they leave. How does it fucking feel, asshole?
Knuckles' dad sucks.
Hi, Dad. Bye, Dad.
There's one point I saw, I think from the Thanks Ken Pender's blog, which is like this is like for Locke, it's really like, with Knuckles, my plans come together. Oh no! This is what I wanted. Oh no!
This is what I wanted, but I didn't know what the hell I wanted. Oh.
I regret my actions.
I guess it's time to kill my own son that I got into this mess.
Me and the boys describing Knuckles lore. Why is there just one? Did Ken Penders just draw one panel of this comic? It's just Knuckles. I feel like everything else is Don Best, and then you just have Knuckles appearing, and he's like, That's the Ken Pender's Unga Bunga eyebrows. Like, nobody else is drawn like that. It's just Knuckles. Like, every panel you look, I don't think it's Don Best.
Well, I mean, that's how you know it's Knuckles. There's no other way to determine that it's Knuckles right now.
Oh, you're
in
right.
any way, shape, or form.
Wait a minute, he's green.
I guess it could mean either...
That's the joke.
Maybe either he drew some parts, or maybe he even drew over her art for some reason. I don't know.
Or maybe she did it like as a choice. Like maybe I give Knuckles the Unga Bunga brows to like stick to his
that's
style.
also possible, like a sort of style thing, I guess. I don't know why you would, but
yeah, I don't know. I love Don Best's art though. Oh, MG, what ship is that?
Which one?
This one.
I think we went over this already.
Did we?
Yeah, we went over it last time.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it was the fusion bird of prey. I think it looks different though from this angle.
It's probably because we're looking at it from below. I don't know.
I took a lot of screenshots because, I don't know, there was just like, you will pay for your words and deeds. It's I think that the dichotomy of Remington and like the light and him just being like, I'm about to blast you, and then Knuckles just like, no, don't do it. You see, we're friends now. And that pose.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, literally, okay.
I was just gonna say that, like, yeah, the whole like sudden dragon thing. I was like, oh, what the hell? What's happening? And it's like, I don't think anybody could have called fucking domestic abuse plot number 2. What? What?
Why?
Of all the things dragon attack could lead into, this was this sure was this was a choice.
They're keeping you
and
on your
they
toes.
just kill him. They don't even resolve the plot. They just kill him off.
They resolved every plot. How do you solve domestic abuse? Just kill him.
Well,
how do you solve a dragon attack? Just kill it.
Yeah, the point there is kill him.
Just kill him.
So this is probably my nomination for worst Carl Bowler story yet.
Yeah, this is a stinker, Carl.
It's poo-poo garbage. You should have just had the dragon be bad without the other stuff.
You should have just set up an intricate Predator-like sequence where the members are getting picked off one by the giant dragon, and then end it in a culmination of Sonic beaten and bloodied, and then blowing him up.
No,
that's what I would have done.
The dragon has to blow himself up while laughing.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sonic just, like, punches him in the mouth. Dragon closes in the middle of a fire breath and just blows up because of the backflow of the gas or whatever. See?
The dragon's swelling up and he's just going...
Archie from 20-some years ago, hire us. We'll be a 4-man brain cell, one writer.
Look, if you're gonna copy other stuff, you might as well just full-on copy Predator, too. Why not?
You set it up. They were in a jungle and everything. It was all there, the recipe. Come on.
Or could have taken a wild left turn and made it like a Friday the 13th, like, scene or something.
Or you could have made it domestic abuse, but Dulcie turns around and beats the hell out of him.
Yeah, that works. That's good. Well, I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
Teaching kids to solve violence with violence is probably not a good idea. Anyway,
yeah, you're right.
I can't wait for Sonic to beat the shit out of Robotnik.
Just, you know what, kids, remember this. If you have a problem, bury it.
At the tail end of this issue, we were treated with a little... I think it was this one, right? Yeah, 10700. You got the little connect the dots minigame. So I posted this earlier in this chat, but I want to...
Yeah, I didn't click on it yet because I wanted a live reaction.
Okay, so I connected the dots. I don't really understand where this character comes in.
Who is this guy? I'll be honest.
It said to connect the dots. Like, connect all the same colored dots. This is what it looks like.
Snibbly, help! I'm stuck in the Shadow Realm, Snibbly.
Who is this?
Snibbly, they took my mustache.
I've seen images of it drawn like this many, many years ago. This is why I did it like this. I know it's supposed to look like But people didn't find that until a little later.
You did better than I did.
Snibbly, help!
I had DK on the brain, but
I was waiting to do this connect the dots for like a year. I was waiting for this.
So, who is it supposed to be?
I believe it's supposed to be Robotnik.
Oh,
It is,
and
it
why
is
is
Robotnik facing the side.
why is Sonic Andros?
I know, those hands are so funny. I
Whoa!
love this page so much.
Like only I had the brains to rule Lilat, man.
I love your Sonic impression. Every time. Whoa!
whoa. No, I get it. See, you have there's certain it's a voice acting thing. You have to get in the into the role. Whoa, that's way past cool.
Can we talk about Tails' toupee?
What? Why does he have that? What the hell? I think I like Sonic Andros. This is kind of a vibe.
Fox, my old enemy, Sonic is back.
This
He
is
looks
the
just
second
like
Star
Andros.
Fox This is the second Star Fox joke we made.
Oh, it goes back to Star Fox.
Yeah, I'm
Goodness.
assuming it was Ken Penders who put this together. I guess he doesn't know how connect the dots is supposed to work. So this
I was hoping to find somebody who drew it right, but I can't. Like I googled it just now, and I'm like,
oh, maybe give me a minute. I'll find it.
Dorko's gonna do it himself.
I guess while Dorko, give me a minute, I'll take care of this. While Dorko does that, I guess you can give us the summary of 108.
It's a doozy, kind of.
Oh yeah, it is actually. Maybe we should wait for the.
We need Dorko.
No,
back.
it's not a big summary or anything. It's just
All right,
the
let's
one
get
we
it.
were about to do seems important at first, but as we get into it, right, so Eggman saw Knuckles doing his thing. As it turns out, as a result of his space-time manipulation, Eggman is able to use a machine to make Dr. Robotnik appear. The Freedom Fighters are playing hide and seek when Robotnik shows up, and he explains that Eggman brought him back to steal his memories or something. Later, he asks the King and Queen of Nahul for protection or whatever. And he looks so beat up they feel bad for him, and they're willing to let Dr. Quack look at him. Who says he is in fact the real Robotnik. 7 days pass with him awkwardly trying to fit in with everybody. They escort Robotnik to Mobotropolis so that he can claim control of the city and become allies with the good guys. Robotnik tells our heroes to stand on the idiot circle where their molecules start getting dismantled. Their plot... So, yeah, the Robotniks are plotting against our heroes all along. Who knew? But their plot fails as Sally gets Nicole to turn the machine off and blow it up. It turns out our heroes did not fall for this, actually, and they only show up here to destroy the machine in question. And then Robotnik disappears from reality as he is not able to persist in this reality for very long and now has no way back with the machine in pieces. Hope, in our next story, Hope writes a letter to the King and Queen talking about her life in the city where she met her Robin for the first time, Sonic, and is grateful to be met with kindness ever since she got out of there and showed up in Nahul, etc., etc. Overlander war sucks. Hope is welcome to stay in Nahul. And then we get the Knuckles story where Echidna politics. All right, what did y'all think?
Oh, you're a cheeky bastard.
Dude, the first full art of
Did you do this?
I did not. I pulled this from the Thanks Ken Penders blog.
I don't think that's... That can't be real. Damn, this sucks. Wait, man, there's some bigger...
He's a bird.
Oh, there's some good screenshots. You guys got to check out if you've never looked at any of our snips and screens. Like, this is the time to do it. There's so many good. There's some gold.
So, I actually knew about this issue. This is one of the few I knew about.
This is one of the...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The image of, classic Robotnik in Eggman's glasses is one of the hardest things I've ever seen come out of this comic.
This goes
this
hard.
This issue was the one I was waiting for because it's the one I remember from when I was playing the Sonic GameCube collection, and they show you all like the covers. I remember this one was like, oh, there's 2 Robotniks, and then we get here. So, and it's just like a one-off plot without much build-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't not expecting to be disappointed, but also it wasn't fantastic. It was all right as a one-off, kind of goofy, but fun, I guess. I also was not a huge fan of how Dr. Robotnik is drawn in the issue. Not on the covers. Like these go hard as hell, but the actual thing, I didn't like the art style very much.
Are you kidding me? These are probably some of my favorite Robotniks. Okay, I'm joking. But there are
it's
some
funny,
really good funny ones.
It is very funny. I appreciate that much.
His head mask has lopped into his chin.
He's got such a huge chin. Dude, I don't know who drew. Did Ron Lim draw that, like, Robotnik and Robotnik glasses one? Because that goes so hard. It's genuinely, I never looked it up. I really should have. I know Benny Lee did the story for this one.
Are you going to get into that, by the way?
Oh, you are? Okay, I'll leave it.
Well, I was going to ask if you were.
No, I don't know anything about him. I was going to ask if you knew anything.
Oh, okay. Should I mention that now?
Yeah, I just, there's a lot of funny Robotniks in this one, and it's just kind of a silly, weird story about Robotnik pretending to, like Bob said, and I mean, it started out pretty fun. It ends pretty fun. I don't really have any qualms with this story. I like the slapstick, especially the whole Robotnik gets mad at Robotnik because the gang like blames him. Like, I don't know, there's just something silly about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bad slapstick bit. I like how they beat each other up at the end. It's just that when I saw it, it's like many, many years ago, I thought it was going to be something more like Endgame kind of, but they just sort of dragged out Robotnik out of the blue so they can do this bit.
Yeah, about the...
so it was like, yeah. That's how it ends.
About the story itself, it does... It feels like I got clickbaited.
Yeah.
See, like, the covers, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And then it's like, oh, this is like a really silly story. And then, like, when I can accept it as like, oh, this is just a goofy story, I kind of like it. Like, oh, this is fun. But it's such a shift in tone. It's like, this is kind of not what I want right now.
It's a shift in tone considering the last time we saw Dr. Robotnik, it was Endgame. So.
Yeah. And also, it is kind of funny if you imagine specifically that the Robotnik brought back was like the goofy one from like the very beginning of the comic.
Yeah.
Which he kind of is.
So it doesn't not make sense. So.
But again, the shift in tone and like the potential this has, but then in reality it's just a really goofy story. Like, I know, like, first reading it, there's so many like head scratchers of like, what? Like they're just okay with this? I'm like, oh well, no, it turns out like they were prepared the whole time, yada yada blah blah. But even then, it feels so weird. And like,
it was weird.
It's such a clash going into this. Like even knowing like oh, like they knew Robotnik was gonna betray them because of course. But even then, like the setup feels weird and strange. The whole way it's written.
How did the Eggman not know that they would know that they were gonna get tricked?
Yeah.
Well, they knew that he would know that they would know. ad nauseum.
Yeah. It should have been Adventures of Robotnik.
I think they did that before, right?
No.
Oh.
Adventures of never showed up in here, I think. Sonic Underground Robotnik did.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Sad I Am Robotnik did, but not Adventures of. That I know of, at least. I don't think he ever shows up, though.
No, I think you're right.
Good. I don't have to do my Long John Baldry impression. As much as I'd want to.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, Dorko. When you look at it like that, then Yeah, I mean, okay, first off, I cannot tell you how disappointed I was the first time I read this. I was like, exactly, I had very similar. I think it's because I'm coming back to this already knowing. I looked at it from like a lens of like, this is really silly and this is fun. But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, the fact that they knew, it's like, it's a very Mike Gallagher story. It's very, I guess, is my best way to put it.
It was the intention, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MegaFire back in the day, you were just that one pirate from SpongeBob, sitting on the couch
Apache?
reading this. Yeah, sitting on the couch reading this comic, going, "That's it."
Yeah, that's kind of, you're not wrong. That's probably my exact.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. What were you gonna say about Benny Lee though? I'm curious.
Okay, so unless I'm missing it, like I don't see this in the scans I read, but according on the Thanks Ken Bender's blog, it shows like a page of like Carl Bowler's interviewing Benny Lee and asking him questions.
Oh, I remembered. Okay, go on.
And
Yeah.
then, the reveal is that Carl Bowler's is Benny Lee.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
So
something
there's
that's
context.
kind of like when you know and you're reading like this little interview of like, oh man.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know the context for why this happened? Does she talk about this at all?
Okay, so from what I understand is that nobody knows for sure why Carl Bowlers did this. Like, that part's just speculation, unless there's something I'm missing on that front. But this was revealed apparently by Ken Penders on his forum at some point, where he just mentioned, I guess, to someone that yeah, Benny Lee was Carl Bowlers under a different name.
So the story goes, because I do want to get my like evidence before I say for a fact, but like Dorgo said, the speculation, the common consensus was that Benny Lee was created by Carl to try and let's keep in mind, this is 2002 by now. There are fans of this comic that are on one side extremely content with how it's going and want this to continue, and some that are unhappy. Now, the nature of this unhappiness is wildly different, but the common theory or the common story is that it's too serious. There's too much nuance. We wanted something lighter or something along those lines. So Benny Lee was created to try and do some B-plots of a more light-hearted nature, lighter stories, not necessarily like what we're gonna see here, like with like the Robotnik, like Mike Gallagher type stuff, but just something in the world that's not crucial, something more along the lines of what we got from like, say, like the Down Under story, or adjacent to that. So that was to give you guys like the most bare bones reasoning. That was why Benny Lee existed. It was Carl's attempt to try and appease both sides of the fandom and deal with their inner politics going on at Archie at this point, which I will dive into at a later time because it's not relevant right now. But yeah, there's a lot of, keep in mind as you're reading this, that there's things brewing under the surface between the editor, the writers, and yeah, really the editors and the writers is pretty much, and like corporate and like Sega. There's a mess happening right now. Yeah. So a girl named Hope. We are introduced to finally J Axer, the artist that I loved the most when I read these comics. His art style is iconic. I mean, it is such a jump in quality. It looks so different from everybody else that had drawn at this point. I think Don Best might be like the closest, but like this is like some stuff that you would see on a cover, but it's like every page. And he is also, really fun fact, the second fan that got a job working for Archie Sonic, which is really cool.
It was something I wanted to say earlier that I just kind of failed to jump in. Is like I feel like maybe part of the art problem is like a lot of these artists that have struggled to draw Sonic characters, like I feel like they're probably fine or good artists, like including Ron Lim, like you know when they usually draw humans, but you know I think maybe drawing Sonic characters is its own specific challenge, its own hurdle that people struggle with.
Yeah.
The art's very nice. This I skimmed the story a lot in my summary, partially because reading this was a cram session. I got really overwhelmed last week, so I was kind of like, okay, I got to get to the end of this. But even if I didn't say as much about the story, the art was amazing. The art was really good.
I'm really
so
glad
I just wanted
to
say that.
So as we're starting to see in these comics, like already, I guess it turns out that the solution to the Sonic art problem was get the fans.
Yeah.
The people who are like so passionate about Sonic and drawing Sonic characters, like they know how to draw these fellas.
Like I would almost not argue, but I would almost say like when J Axer starts up, like some of the human characters look a little weird, but they're not too bad. He kind of like nails all of them. Like the Hope ones are probably the best, and they're the only ones that matter because she's the focus of the story. A, and then B, she really is the only human that appears in the main cast from this point on in general. And there's something about the way he draws Knothole that sits in my brain rent free forever. I think I will never not like think of Sonic comics and not think of the way that J Axer in some of the ones, and you'll see later on, some of the ways that he draws Knothole. It just, I don't know what it is about it. It's like, I don't know, have you ever played a video game and you like go into a level and you're like, yeah, just like I remembered it. That's the tick-tock clock. That's how I feel like when I watch, or like when I come back to these comics and I look at some of Jay's art.
So, real quick in this image you posted, when I was skimming through, I totally mistook Dr. Quack as like a Catholic priest.
I can see the cross behind him.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I didn't realize they still served God in this way, in this universe.
Yeah.
I may want to take over the world, but I still love my Lord, sweet Jesus Christ. Amen.
And then I know Dorko wants to talk about this, so I'll post it. And I'll say that this is what he was talking about previously.
What?
Wait, what is it? You were when I said the inspiration for Badass Tales?
Oh well, no, I didn't. I just meant. This
artist. No,
I didn't mean like a specific.
This artist.
I didn't mean a specific panel or drawing.
No, I know you didn't mean the specific. Okay, love you. Yes, I didn't mean that this specific panel is what. But he is the guy who drew a bunch of really edgy Sonic. I link one from an interview from him from 2001, 2002. This guy rules. I don't know if he actually rules. Let me just say I'm not speaking on his character because I feel like there was some controversies with him, but his shit is just so drippy. I love it. I don't know what the controversies are, by the way. I just know that there was some in the community, but I think it was around the comic or something. And I'll be honest, I don't care because I think if I remember correctly, it was just dumb stuff. There he is. There he is. 9 Inch Nails Tails.
Yeah, if there was anything that inspired that weird Tails Doom thing, maybe it could have been this.
He's got the Jinko jeans on and everything. This goes so hard.
Oh no!
That man can store like 20 iPods in there.
I kind of love
it.
Let me just one more because it's a real contrast. This man has range. He's like, what? You want some classic, like more traditional Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog art from like the cartoons? Got you. What's that? You want 9 Inch Nails Tails? I got you.
Why does he have knees?
To bend.
I do really like his art. I think it's pretty good. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we all finally we're all just in class bands.
No, I don't have the energy to do Sonic impressions anymore. Whoa!
Oh no, he died. Speaking of, this is probably one of the last things I'll say. Oh yeah, the Knuckles story. It, yeah, politics.
This is like the first thing I skipped in our whole podcast, because the more they kept going on about the argument between Knuckles and his mom, like, what if this guy was this? I just stopped. I just skipped.
Yeah, I can just break it down. Basically, this is Dimitri's trying to like appease himself amongst the court, and he's just basically trying to say like, no, we're not bad guys. We just want to unite the people with technology or something. And then everybody's like, bro, you literally are like murked us on the streets. And he's just like, oops, spoops. And then that's the whole. And Knuckles is like, no, trust me, he's got a point. Let him cook. And then mysterious Echidna is stalking Knuckles.
The art contrast between the end of the Hope story and the start of the Ken Penders one is whiplashian, to say the least.
Yeah, I understand that. Yep.
Look at how beautiful
really
this art is. Stock skyscrapers in the background.
I was just about to post that screenshot.
Echidna politics left just a bad taste in my mouth. When I was going into the summary for this one, I was like, oh god, this one sucked. But actually it didn't. It was just this being bad.
No, actually, like, overall, I'd say this issue was my favorite of the session. Because,
yeah.
like, even though I have, like, my issue with the first silly Robotnik story, like when I actually, like, I know what to expect, like, it's one of my favorite, it's easily one of my favorite stories to read in this session.
I like the Hope story a lot. I'm not even gonna relent on that. I think that this was a really, whatever your feelings on serious or nuanced Sonic story is, I think that this was a really cool one to see. Like, it is genuinely, like, it just builds a good character for her, and it's kind of nice, because otherwise she was kind of like there but not really like relevant. So this was really cool, and also just seeing some of those panels redrawn from, like, this guy is just, like, awesome. Like, just seeing all of the moments before. You could just imprint these in your head when you think back on those moments instead. It's probably 10 times better. No offense, but, like...
If it wasn't for the fact I was, like, I had to cram, because, again, I was overwhelmed last week. Had to do it all one day. I probably would have saved the Hope thing more, because I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. So anybody listening to this, if you're listening, just go check out 108. I mean, I would argue you don't even need to know the story of Hope to, like, really feel like, dang, this is a cool. I want to know more about this girl. Like, dang, she really went through it. Yeah, they cooked. Carl Bowlers, great job. You went from a stinker to a ringer. I don't know. I couldn't rhyme. Anyway.
So true.
Yeah, that's all I have for my feelings. I agree with you guys for the most part. There was a lot of, like, borderline, I think, just boring stuff in this one. The
session as a whole, or what?
Yeah, just session as a whole. But,
I guess we're doing our wrap up.
Oh yeah, unless you have Is there anything else that you have to say? Sorry.
Well, regarding 108, no, not really. I think I got my point across. I think overall this session was pretty fun. The Down Under thing was not, like, fantastic. I guess it was, like, wholesome, if anything, but I wasn't really into that.
I hate wholesome.
I hate it. The Guardians of the Galaxy thing was, like, okay, just for goofy Galactus Robotnik. After that was... what did I think of the development of the... I guess it's... I don't know. The one I tuned out the most, because nothing crazy happened, was, like, Eggman wins and he roboticized some people, but Hope got away. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then there was the Knuckles stuff. That was just bad. I'm like skimming over my notes. Yeah, the dragon thing started... The dragon was so out of nowhere that one, like, started good, just because it was so wacky, like, the diplomatic, so the dragon, well, and then they ended it on a fucking domestic abuse bit, and then they ruined it. Yeah. This session was a lot. It was overall fun, though, especially.
This is a weird episode of Dragon Tales.
Oh yeah, Knuckles' mom is pregnant. I don't know if any of us mentioned that.
Yeah, she's having another sibling.
Well, I need to ask you guys a question. How is Babby formed? How girl get pregnant?
Microwaves.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, incubators, actually. We call them in the business.
They need to weigh and stain mother.
I'm probably a bit more negative on the session as a whole, where I feel like a lot of this was pretty bad. I feel like it's mostly redeemed by the last issue for me, which is unfortunate.
It really was, but some of it was just like bad. Some of it was the like so bad is good kind of bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like goofy bad. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing was goofy bad.
Also, I guess one thing I have to say about the Knuckles plot by the end of it is like, I was complaining how stupid the Knuckles team up with the Legion is, which I still think that.
I can't wait for that to backfire, and it's going to be so funny.
Or like, I guess my quote unquote point was like, well, whatever. If they're going to do something funny, like Knuckles is all powerful, he can just use his powers to wipe them out. And I guess the solution, quote unquote, is Knuckles just like, oh, let's hear him out.
Like, why do we give that a chance?
I don't know. He's got a point. Let him cook.
Fucking green centrist Knuckles is my least favorite Knuckles.
God, green Knuckles is the worst. I love the color green. This is terrible.
They really personally attacked you. What did Ian Pato say about Greedo? Is like, yeah, he was like, oh, why doesn't like Dimitri try to like try to win some favor with Knuckles instead of just pretending to cook with words? And I'm like, yeah, I think that's good.
He was already cooking. Like he knew how to make this more compelling. Yeah.
There was like such funny nitpicks. I swear, you guys got to read those like little the little note or the letter that he did, because it was like the nitpicks are so funny because it's just like, yeah, you right though, but also, man, I would not have noticed if you didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm impressed by how in detail he can go about like specifically the Knuckles stories and go so in depth, and I'm like, man, at this point it's just so draining. Right? I can't. I don't have the passion or energy or interests with the Knuckles stuff. I don't know if I ever did on the Pender side.
Funny enough, I think I'm more like into the Mystery Echidna story than anything else that's going on. Like, I don't know. I actually don't mind it. Like, I was looking at it, I'm like thinking, like, what do I remember from this? Not much, actually. Like, I feel like I kind of maybe glossed over the Mystery Echidna following Knuckles around thing. But now that we're reading it over again, I'm like, I'm kind of digging. Like, if I was just reading this, like, I was like, and I didn't know what was going on, like, the mystery's kind of, I'm kind of into it. Like, I want to know what happens. Like, why is, like, a supposedly Remington gonna shoot Knuckles or kill Knuckles? I'm like, what's happening here? I don't, for once, I don't really mind the rambling thought boxes too much for her. Yeah, that's probably like the most like praise I can really give the Knuckles story. It's just like, it's funny because it's so bad at this point instead of just being boring. It's just kind of like, I like reading it and being like, this is ridiculous. Like, why are people making the decisions they're making? I'm mainly in an agreement with Bob, though. Like, I had fun with some of these stories. Some of them were just boring to me. The weird dragon abuse, it never really sat well with me. I remember that was a pretty also like unchanging opinion of mine from when I was younger, where it's like, for some reason I didn't feel that way about the cat and the dog guy, but like with this one I'm just like, it feels so foul that they bring Dulcie back and this is the plot that they choose to bring her back with. Whereas the other one, it was kind of like there was build up. Like it was. I think we said it before, where it was like, this is weird to have in my Sonic comic, but it was like also it was like at least it was set up. But where this is just like, hey guys, long time no see. Also, my boyfriend beats me. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Bury him in the rubble more, Sonic. Actually, bury him and never dig it up again.
Wow, that's dark.
Yeah, I guess it was overall bad. This is just, again, 108 carried. I just wish 108 had I just wish the Robotnik thing had art that I liked as much as the Hope thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoa, that's way past fucked up.
I think I said all I had to say. It was an interesting history lesson learning why that one, I'm terrible with the names, but why someone had a name change and then wrote the Robotnik thing just to address people like one thing about the comic and then the other, and then they're trying to please both.
Yeah, so apparently,
Carl,
from what I understand, whenever he's writing a story as Benny Lee, if you notice that, then you can expect the story to be like the same silly tone, because I think there's more to come, if I understand correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't. This is not a one-off. Mm-hmm.
He will return.
He will be back.
He will return in The Avengers.
Please wait warmly. All right. Harv, any closing thoughts?
No.
Dorko?
I've wrung out all potential closing thoughts I had.
Sick. All right. Well, I mean, I think next time we're probably going to also get like 6-7 issues. I have to double check the issues specifically, but it's likely going to be something like 109 to 112 or so.
I do have one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
For that one commenter that's going to bring up the fact that I didn't mention Vector came back, Vector came back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Remember the Chaotix?
Anyway, as you were.
Yeah, so it's going to be like 109 to 112, 113, because we are wrapping up the this arc, and then the next arc begins. Yep.
Oh, boy.
I think sometime in the next, like, I want to say in the next maybe like after 3 or 4 more episodes, I think there's something I want us to do, a little deviation, so I might make a shorter one, a shorter reading stuff, because there's like an interview or like a video I want us to watch and kind of talk about, and by extension an interview that I kind of want us to read, because it provides some interesting context on, at that point, everything we had read prior to. So look forward to that.
Ooh, okay.
Definitely be more of a conversation based thing.
Oh, boy.
I think it'd be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So,
That's all she wrote.
Bye.